Okay, welcome to this part 3 of our Criminal Law and Jurisprudence Reviewer. So let's start right away with number 1. Is the crime of theft committed by a person who will intend to gain takes a worthless check belonging to another without the other's consent? So, the question here is, yung theft ba na commit if ang kinuha is a worthless check? Worthless check means um, it is it is not funded. No? Insufficient funds yun. So, is the crime of theft committed? The answer is no. No, the taking of worthless check which has no value, would not amount to crime of theft because of legal impossibility to commit the intended crime. But that is considered as impossible crime to commit theft. Pwede yun, impossible crime to commit theft. But it is not theft per se. Hindi siya theft lang. It must be impossible crime to commit theft. Okay, so that's number 1. Answer is no. What is the minimum wage of criminal responsibility? Ano ba ang minimum wage of criminal responsibility ngayon? The answer here is of course yung above 15, under 18 acted with discernment. Take note, with discernment. Above 15, under 18 acted with discernment. Kasi 15 years old and under, hindi criminally liable, exempted yan. 15 years old and below. 9 years old, lalo na. Exempted yan. Above 9, under 18 acted with discernment. Okay, baka sabihin nyo, sir, acted with discernment. But remember the age. Ano bang edad? 9 to 15. 9 to 15, automatically, hindi mo kailangan ng discernment dyan or hindi mo kailangan ng without discernment dyan. Automatic yan silang exempted from criminal liability. But above 15, under 18, acted with discernment, liable yun. Liable yun. 3. A foreigner residing in Hong Kong counterfeits a 20-peso bill issued by Philippine Government. May a foreigner be prosecuted before civil court in the Philippines. Remember, foreigner siya, nasa Hong Kong, pero ang kinonterfeit niya, 20-peso bill. Ang tanong dito, applicable po yung law natin. Can he be charged in the Philippine court? Pwede ba siyang kasuhan sa Pilipinas? The answer is yes. Okay? Because the provision of Revised Penal Code are enforceable outside the jurisdiction of the Philippines. Ito yung exception sa territoriality. This is an exception to the territoriality rule against those who forge or counterfeit currency notes of the Philippines. So, if yung pera natin kinonterfeit sa ibang lugar, sa ibang bansa, liable pa rin sila sa Pilipinas. That is an exception to the territoriality principle of our criminal law. Okay? This is what we call extraterritoriality. So the answer, even if it's committed by a foreigner, even if it happens outside the Philippines, like Hong Kong, but if what is counterfeited is our bill, our peso bill, then that is triable in the Philippines. It's triable in the Philippines. Next, the husband has for a long time physically and mentally tortured his wife. Physically and mentally tortured his wife. After one episode of beating, the wife took the husband's gun and shoot him dead. Under the circumstances, her act constitutes. Well, pag yung wife palaging binububog ng husband, tapos in one occasion, pinatay ng wife yung husband, the wife is not criminally liable. Okay, the wife is not criminally liable. Anong pwede niyang invoke? Battered woman syndrome as a complete defense. As a complete defense. Okay? Battered woman syndrome yan. Then, number 5, Mr. J armed with 9mm pistol and Mr. P who has no weapon robbed a store, but in the course thereof, they were seen by Mr. M, a policeman who was armed with caliber 45. When he demanded the surrender of Mr. J and Mr. P, John shot him but missed. Okay? It is J, no? And so Mr. M repelled the attack. In the exchange of shots, Mr. J, Mr. P, and Mr. Q, the owner of the store, were killed by the bullets fired bullets fired by a caliber 45. In such case, is Mr. M criminally liable for killing Mr. J? Remember, si Mr. J dito, si Mr. M is the policeman, police officer. Okay? May dalang 9mm pistol. In exchange of fire, napatay niya si Mr. J. Liable ba si Mr. M, yung police officer? The answer is no. Because he acted in self-defense. Remember, may 9mm pistol. Binaril siya eh. Gumanti lang siya to protect himself. So, that is self-defense. Now, in the same facts above, is Mr. M criminal for killing Mr. P? Mr. P here has no weapon. Remember, P has no weapon. Pero kasama siya sa nagnakaw. Nabaril pa rin siya in exchange of fire. Liable ba yung police sa pagpatay kay P na walang weapon? The answer is still no. Because he acted in the performance of his duty. Okay, he acted in the performance of his duty. Eh, kasi police nga siya. Okay? Ngayon, how about the death of Q? Yung owner, the store owner, is Mr. M criminally liable? The answer here is still no. Because he acted with due care and it was pure accident. If pure accident is an exempting circumstance yan. So, pure accident yung nangyari. Okay? So, hindi pa rin liable si Mr. M. Number 8, Mr. Z and Mr. P asked Mr. B to give them a sketch of the location of Mr. A's house since they wanted to kill him. So, ito yung dalawang gustong pumatay, si Z at saka si P. They asked B to make a sketch of the location of Mr. A's house. B agreed and drew them a sketch. Mr. C and Mr. P drove to the place and killed Mr. A. What crime did Mr. B commit? Yung gumawa ng sketch, anong liability niya? Anong participation niya? He is only considered as accomplished. Okay, minimal lang kasi yung cooperation because his cooperation is minimal. Hindi siya accessory, no? Liable pa rin siya. Bakit hindi siya ka-liable na murder? Kasi hindi na patunayan dyan yung conspiracy. The conspiracy is not proven there. Okay? Mr. N is a regular buyer of Mr. J of motor vehicle derived from carnapping, galing sa carnapping. The usual price of carnapped motor vehicle is 20,000. The shop PO2 S, a police officer accidentally noticed a suspicious chop motor vehicle. What is the crime committed by Mr. N? Ito yung tagabili ng carnapped motor vehicle. Anong liability ng bumili ng galing sa nakaw? Yan yung tanong. Anong liability yan? That is anti-fencing law. Violation of anti-fencing law. Mr. A was convicted of prosecuted homicide. So, convicted siya ng prosecuted homicide and was sentenced to 6 years and only to 8 years. Ito yung sentensya niya. Mr. A appealed his conviction to the Court of Appeals, which convicted him attempted homicide. Naging na-downgrade yung kaso from prosecuted homicide, naging attempted homicide na lang, and sentenced him to 6 months of arresto mayor to 4 years of prison correctional as maximum. Instead of appealing submission and filed a court application for probation. Pwede ba siya mag-probation? Kasi remember our rule, hindi ka pwede mag-apply ng probation if ang sentensya mo ay 6 years and above. 6 years and 1 day. So yung hindi siya pwede mag-apply ng probation that time. Pero when he appealed this case, bumaba yung sentensya niya, naging lang 6 months to 4 years. So pwede na siya mag-apply ng probation. So nag-apply siya ng probation. Is Andres qualified to avail the benefits of probation? The answer is yes. Yes. Okay? Because after his appeal, he qualified for probation as the sentence imposed on him was less than 6 years na. Kasi naging 6 months of arresto mayor to 4 years of prison correctional. So pwede na yun. Pwede siyang mag-probation. Mr. J and Mr. P are quarreling on the street and a municipal mayor, they are quarreling, no? Upon passing by, attempts to separate them to stop the quarrel. Mr. P continued to quarrel until Mr. J succeeded in killing Mr. P. Is there an aggravating circumstance? Hindi siya nagpatigil. Away pa rin ng away. Nasaksak ni J. Yan. Na napatay ni J si M. In the presence of the mayor, may aggravating circumstance ba? The answer is yes. Contempt of or without or with insult to the public authorities. Kasi mayor is public authorities yan. So, contempt of or with insult to public authorities. I think that's the last part of this CLJ Reviewer. Thank you and good luck sa exam.